What's going on, Axie fam? Elijah here, back with another video. And today we're having Indes back on the show. Thanks for joining us again on the Axie on the Moon channel. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm doing well. So we've been talking about strategy as we do very often, and I've been using a new build. It's not new in the sense that it hasn't been created before. I mean, Indes and AK have put this together. How long ago would you say it was that you guys came up with this?
I think it was a couple of seasons back now. Whenever Anemone was buffed, it was pretty much a couple of days after that we'd put this together.
Really, a couple days after like double an enemy, you figured out that this was a smart thing to do?
Yeah, so AK initially bought, like when the changes came out, everybody just rushed to the market and tried to buy anemones. I didn't buy anything at the start because I wasn't sure what would go well. AK actually picked up this exact build that you've got up on the screen here, and he was playing around with it. He tried it in like a triple Aqua team that was a bit trolly. And then I sort of saw it, and I'd used a lot of Beast Reptile at the time. That was my main team, and it had been for a couple of seasons before then. And the one thing was always that you were very exposed against beast and bug damage. So I sort of mentioned it to him, why don't you chuck it on a Beast Reptile? So he tinkered around with it and played around.
I mean, AK is just genius level. Let's just be honest. I mean, you guys both are super smart. I was going to tweet about it, how some of the smartest people I've met are here in Axie Infinity. Maybe probably the smartest people I know, to be honest with you. Very cool. I'm excited to share this. Now, the reason we're doing this is because right now market prices are still sort of crazy. We understand, okay, there's going to be fixes for this. But for those who are interested, I and Indes both firmly believe that spending a little extra and getting a high quality team is 100% the way to go. Do not just buy floor. Do not just buy the first recommendation that you come across in Discord. You want to be doing your own research, just like any other investment. And I'm going to go ahead and like pat myself on the back here just a little bit, in that this guy Moonlight reached out the other day. And it was really cool because my boy is already top 200. He's been playing this game. He says it somewhere in here. He's been playing for, I
think
think,
it
a
was a
week
week and a half.
yeah, playing a week and a half ago, right? And so he thanks me for the videos, which honestly, it sounds cliche, but this makes all of this so worth it for me. Like, I want to see you guys thrive and succeed. And I know that just like a little patience, a little bit of being wise about what you're purchasing and doing research goes a very long way. You know, he's actually replicated a build I did a video on, which is the Tri-Spikes rep at mid with Gecko and the Confident Beast in the back. And look, this guy, there's only 10 of these beasts in the game, and he was savvy enough to keep checking the marketplace. He gets a great deal on one, and you know, there you go. So we're trying to do that again here in a sense and help people get off on the right foot. And I think this is a great build, especially because you can get a version of it for what I would consider to be a budget Axie team. I know that sounds a little crazy because prices are high, but you know, you don't have to spend an entire arm and a leg. And remember, you're going to earn this money back through SLP anyway, especially if you're getting something that's going to perform better than, you know, a crappy team. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, one thing that is going to be a bit unusual is that your tank up front is normally a plant. What's different about this is it's going to be an Aqua. So there might be a bit of a harder learning curve at first, but nothing that you can't figure out, especially since we're going to be doing gameplay advice on it in this video as well. And there's always people in Discord to help with strategic talk, including Indes and myself in the Arena channel. So we're going to go ahead and pick up any Aqua that has these parts. Now, they're kind of mass bred, so there's tons of them, and they have dropped in terms of floor price, right, Indes, recently?
Yeah, so about 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, these were going for even at some points an ETH. They were very rare because gas had been so high pretty much ever since anemone became a thing. So the people that had access to the breeds, even though the genes, sorry, even though they were pure, they weren't able to breed them just because of the sheer cost of breeds. So as soon as the gas had fell over the last couple of weeks, where we've been seeing 80s, 90s at certain points over the weekend, they've just been slowly bred and yeah, dumped pretty much down. I think the lowest I saw was a solid floor at 0.15 until yourself and another couple of people picked some up. So I definitely suggest looking to to get these soon. I think anything beneath 0.2 is definitely a good deal. And if you do see them go above 0.2, you can just keep a lookout on Discord and the listings channel, or just straight on the marketplace and try and catch the next listings of them.
Yeah, that's great advice. But anyway, yeah, so the Aqua here is fairly simple. You just definitely want one with double anemone. You want lamb, angry lamb, and then Nemo. And there's a ton of them out there, but you can search for these parts on the marketplace. You can make sure that you pull up the one that's most affordable so that you get the best deal possible, and you go ahead and purchase it. And that's going to be the tank that we use up front. Moving on to the beast. Now, the key ingredient for the midliner beast in this build is that we need to have rice and we need to have Gota. So this is largely a tempo build, an energy control build. You kind of get to dictate the speed of the game. Do you want to maybe elaborate on that a bit, Indes?
Yeah, so in order for the anemone tank to be viable, you need to have a deterrent for the opponent to just pass multiple rounds and then blast it all in one. And the Rice Goda fits that build perfectly, because if you can keep the opponent's energy to 3, unless they have a few specific really high damage moves, they won't be able to kill your anemone all in one turn. So that means they either have to give up energy to you, or they have to attack into your anemone tank to avoid being stolen from, and then give value to your anemone heals.
Yeah, it's pretty cool having the beast here to kind of manipulate their decisions. Now, you actually handpicked a few really nice buys right here in this arena for what we're looking for in terms of a beast. And I think it'll probably be one of those things where whoever sees this video first and is looking for a new Axie, they're going to get scooped up pretty quickly. But the point of us listing these is for you to keep an eye out on something that, you know, might show up as a gem in terms of value. For instance, this is going for 0.1 ETH, which is incredible considering the move set that it has. It has the go to rice, which is what we need. It has a fish part, but a really quite a nice one with high shield, and also Jaguar, another high damage beast card. The Aqua part gives it 43 speed, which is fairly massive, I would say. Most beasts run at 41 speed. Definitely this one will work great for this build at the midline. How about this one, Indes? This is the other one that you kind of found as a diamond in the rough.
Yep, so again, this has the Rice Goda combo, and then it has Little Branch on the horn, which is one of the 2 beast horns you want to be looking out for, which is Dual Blade or Little Branch is sort of the ideal parts. And then on the back, you've got a hero, which just offers some solid damage. It also allows you to steal for 1 energy with the rice, because rice needs to be paired with another move in order to trigger the steal. And yeah, it just offers you some good damage, high pressure. And that's pretty much all you're looking for in this midline beast build.
So this one's up there right now for 0.15 ETH. I think another good deal in this market. Lastly, this is mine, Ball of Joy. And I wanted to just show this guy because I managed to scoop him for another really good price a couple days ago, and that was 0.1 for Ethereum. So point here being to continually check the market. Don't rush a purchase. You know, if you're looking for a certain Axie, don't compromise on what you're trying to get too much. This is, I'd say, pretty close to the ideal move set, either Jaguar or Risky Beast, which is what you have on yours. So we'll actually get to see both in today's gameplay video. I think that pretty much covers the beast. One thing we want to point out, though, is that let's say we clear up the purity a bit here and we go to, like, you know, pure beasts, right? 6 of 6 on purity, and we need those 2 move sets. If you wanted to make your search a little more simple, you might do this from time to time. We don't want to compromise on the build by getting Imp. We don't even want Ronin, and we want to stress that.
So the reason why you don't want Ronin is with this build, you're looking to have high pressure in the earlier rounds. And because Ronin requires 2 of the moves in order to do some solid damage, you're often unable to apply enough pressure with the steals to keep your anemone tank alive. You're very reliant on card draws, and even as you sort of go into the middle of the game, you're not able to put up enough shield on your Axie so that you can survive and get a hit off, get a steal off in that middle section of the match.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are great points, and we want to avoid it. Don't get a Ronin beast for this build, that's for sure. So I think that pretty much clears up what we're looking for on the beast side of things. And remember that if you're not 100% sure, drop a question in the Axie Infinity Discord under Arena. And generally, Indes lives there and he likes to help people out. And so you'll be in good hands, and wait for some feedback if you're looking to figure out what to buy. Okay, moving on to the third and final piece of this team that we are creating. It's going to be the reptile in the back. Take it away on what we're trying to accomplish here.
Okay, so number one is a zero cost and chomp. And as you can see here on the left, the zero costs that Elijah selected are Spiky Wing and Green Thorns. Those are two of the more common ones you'll find for reptile backliners, so it'll be easier to have a look through the market with those selected. And then also Chomp, which comes under Tiny Turtle as the regular part, and then Dango as the Japanese part. And
same card though.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at your other two parts, ideally, you'll have an Aqua or a bird part, which will help you to negate the matchup disadvantage against beasts and bugs. And the best for that would be a Kestrel, as Elijah has got here on his build, and I use as well. But if you can't find an Aqua or a bird part, as they are slightly rarer and also probably tend to be higher priced because people recognize their use, you should often look for an incisor, because an incisor just offers so much outplay potential in the mid to late game, and it also makes up for that slight lack of speed, so you can catch up with beasts and potentially even catch up with aquas that don't have speed ups. So as you can see here, you've got some very nice options. The tiny dino one with spiky wing right at the floor actually is probably one of the better, even the best option from that lot. Very rounded moveset, high damage. You've got a nice little mix of shield as well. So as soon as you hit that round 5 mark, that tiny dino is just going to be chopping things down, especially with the spiky wing, which to explain, the fragile effectively just means that you'll do double the damage to shield.
That's massive. And let's say they had like 300 shield, right? I'm just trying to paint a clear picture here as well. Would we only need 150 damage to completely get rid of their shield? Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. And so with the tiny dino that offers a high amount of damage, you can knock down tanks very easily in the early game, or even in the 1v1 if you're facing something that has a lot of beef. You can not only break the shield easily, but you can also bypass it with the tiny turtle.
This is such a cool card. Like I want one of these with spiky wing, because Vine doesn't really do a whole lot for you. This is so much more utility, and I think this is an awesome build.
For sure.
Yeah, that's out there sitting ready for the picking. And, I think we've covered what we're looking for in the reptile. We need a zero cost card, either Vine or Spiky Wing. Ideally, we have a bird or an aqua part, and that can often be on the horns with like Kestrel or what's another example?
So the ones that you're probably more likely to find are going to be Navaga on the tail, mainly Kestrel on the horn, but there's also some last one tails as well, which is another bird part.
Your best bet is most likely going to be a reptile with disarm, but as Indes pointed out, great ability, great outplay potential. So feel good about picking one of these up at a low price, under 0.2 ETH, I think is quite nice. Also, Gecko, really highly recommend that one if you can get it. The damage reduction is massive. This stacks if you play 2 of them together. It means you'll reduce your damage by 30% that round. So this will be probably one of the more common builds you find. And I think it's a solid one to go with if you can't get your hands on a Kestrel rep. And so here you have the finished product of one of these builds. I'd say this is really the ideal version, but the other ones are going to be great, especially coming into the game versus a bunch of really way worse teams. As long as you do some study here and start to try to grasp how the game works, you should be on your way up in the ladder. And I think our plan now is to jump into some games and put this into action and go over some strategic elements of the gameplay. I'll do a few games on my end, and then we'll get to see Indes's version of the team. How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. So right now we're sitting at the number 3 and number 4 spot on the ladder. We're going to be aiming for 1 and 2, of course, in these last 8 days, putting in volume, and I'm going to fire up some games. Oh, wow. Immediately. Okay. So my variation is with Jaguar, Dual Blade, and then of course, Goda and Rice. In the back, we do have the Kestrel Reptile. And up front, we have the exact same tank that, was listed that we spoke of earlier. Round 1, Indes, we have a nice draw on the Beast.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to go with the Beast cards here. One key that there is with Anemone is you should always look at your opponent's cards and see if they're capable of killing your tank with the first, or in the first round with 3 energies worth of moves. And here is the opponent doesn't have any higher damage Aqua or bird parts, like 130 upwards, or like a cactus, something high damage of plant and reptile. You can just go along with the beast cards and not worry about having to defend your Aqua.
So here we go. We're going to unleash damage and hopefully steal an energy here in round one. Looks like we'll steal, but most likely it'll just get stolen right back because he played, I think, Leaf Bug and Sirius here. That being said, he's down to 127 HP, which is a positive for us. Also, what's nice is that there's no other Aquas or birds in this matchup, so our Aqua will always go first. So we would love to survive this round, right, with our Aqua and hopefully draw some heals next round.
Yeah, so here I'd go with a Lamb and a Goda to again try and limit their energy, but also split kill and try and knock out this tank here.
Well, he brick walls, but I think that's still relatively okay. We're going to keep our Aqua alive.
Yeah, I believe that's a Yam Sirius, so it's a nice little avoidance of a Sirius. And then you'll also put him back down to, or so he would have been at 5. So he's going to be down at 3 energy again. So with an anemone this round, if you do get one. With the anemone, he won't be able to kill you.
Yeah, that's huge. Also, I don't need to worry about spending all my energy to avoid a steal because he's played both veg bites. So we're safe on that. No need to rush any of these moves. It is something to think about though. Do I want to tag in the Jaguar and get the kill on the plant? It seems like a bit of overkill because I want these cards for, the fact that he has double reptiles here. I need the beast cards to contend with that.
Yeah, I'd definitely hold on to them.
Would you play a Chomp?
No, I'd hold on to those as well because your worry is that as soon as he hits the 4 energy mark, he is capable of backdooring you with this Toothless Bite here.
That's a great point.
So I'd be more worried about saving the shield moves on your reptile for when he's capable of coming through with the backdoor.
So that I can make sure I don't get wrecked by that, since he does have a backdoor potential here with really high damage beast cards, which does a bonus versus reptile. So now I think I want to play at least one gecko because by round 4, he should have a decent hand of cards here and have that potential. He also has the 5 energy or maybe 6
I think
energy.
He's only sitting at 3. He used 2 energy again last round.
But Leaf Bug as well.
Oh, that was a Leaf Bug.
I think it was, my bad. I think he might be at 5 or 6.
Yeah, so definitely a Gecko Thorns, and then you could even follow up with a Rice Goda as well, because he has got Nemos on that faster reptile, so you may be able to get some steal backs.
This is going to be pretty huge for us because A, we're going to survive this attack, and B, the Gecko plus Vine will get rid of the plant's last stand. So damage will go onto the reptile with our and crit. Always nice. So we're going to steal. We're going to eliminate another energy. This is really limiting his options here. I kind of lost track. Where does that put him? Maybe like 3 this round, or maybe 4?
If he was at 5, as you said, he would be at 3 again.
Okay. So we're in quite a nice position. We can keep our Aqua alive here as well and gain an energy, which we're thrilled about. I don't see any reason not to play both beast cards here as well and kill off.
I'd probably go with the Gecko Chomp actually, because here he has only used 1 Toothless Bite and 1 pair of the Ronin, so he still has those little branches that could be coming through on the back end, and so you can save those beast cards to go against the reptile. And the main reason for that was just because you had 4 cards on your back reptile, so losing the reptile there would have been very costly for your hand and would have limited your options going into this later game.
Yeah, that was a great point. So really savvy there. Keep the reptile alive in case he goes for the kill. And also now look, we've got more ammunition to finish off this pretty beefy backliner. I want to go ahead and continue with my Aqua staying alive. The more I delay with this, the more beast cards I can draw, the more damage I can do, the more I keep my reptile alive as well. Attempting to play 1 Kestrel. We have a speed advantage as well, so our beast is always going to go before this reptile, given that he's 40 speed and we're 41. I think I will play it, disable some of his options next round, and yeah, this will be my move. Notice how I lead with Lamb, because now that I'm under 50, now that I'm less than 50% of my hit points, I'm going to get a damage bonus from it. It's going to do 120% damage. What were your thoughts on that round, Indes?
Yeah, so with keeping your tank alive for an extra turn, you can now, you can keep it alive again, but you could have just passed this round had you not drawn those cards, but there's no point not using them here. But if you didn't have the Nemo, you could have passed, and then because the opponent's so low, there's no way that they can survive against the incoming 4-card Beast Blitz next round.
Exactly. I mean, I could play something now, but I might as well just save up, right, for a killing blow.
Yeah, the only way he wins here is he gets away with lots of gecko value.
Okay, so let's do this. It's almost tempting to just let the Aqua die for the draw, so that I mean, it doesn't really matter because he either dies or it's more difficult for him. So yeah, obviously playing the cards, best play there. Can we just do it for fun?
Yeah, I think you just play it for the troll.
And then we'll just do this too, because this should be game over with the Aqua damage and the Beast dual blade. But we're going to show you here that this sort of thing can happen. It's sort of irrelevant this game because we're so far ahead, but this can happen in the early and mid-ish game where you get these draws, keep the longevity going on the Aqua. And that's kind of the theme here. We want to slow him down. We want to make sure our Beast stays alive. And that's all going to play into our plan here of having a great closer in our backline reptile. And here we go. So this will be fun. We're going to gain 300 hit points here. Pretty sick. We might not even get the kill, honestly. Oh, yeah, I think we will now, even though we played Gecko. So, nope, I must have played 2 geckos here. No, 1 gecko. No, that only does 139. That's
yeah, it's because you didn't pair it with another beast card, so you lose out on the skill bonus, which would have been, I think, 6-7 damage there.
Oh wow, okay. And I mean, at this point, I mean, yeah, 13 HP. He resigns. Really cool first game there, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that sort of situation, as you touched on, with the anemone tank, it can happen where if your opponent just approaches the matchup wrong, or like this one here, where Azarian just didn't have much damage that was good at cleaning through the tank, it can stay alive into those later rounds as a result of having the Rice go to pressure.
Absolutely. So now I'm actually pretty happy to call it there at 1 game because Indes is the guest on the show and I want to get as much volume in with him as we can. So we're just going to switch right over to his perspective and get some games in with his team as well. Okay, so now we're in Indes's screen and we're going to go ahead and see what he's working with as far as the team goes.
Okay, so as with Elijah's team, we've got the same tank, the double anemone, Nemo, Lamb, which is easily the best build for this role. And then going on to the midliner, I've again got the Rice Goda, Dual Blade, but then I've got the Risky Beast instead of the Jaguar. So the Risky Beast just offers a bit more damage. Also got the Last Stand outplay with the high damage, but doesn't have that Jaguar outplay where you can go first when in Last Stand. So there's little trade-offs there. Both are equally good. And then same build on the Reptile as Elijah. Only difference is I think one of your eyes and ears is Bug, and this one has Reptile instead of that, as well as the bird part. So it just have 1 more speed and 2 more health as well.
Cool, let's do this. Hey, look at this guy, happy size. So yeah, he's a tough one to face, very annoying build, one that Indes and I are very familiar with. I created this. Indes has optimized it as well, has his version, and a tricky one to face.
Yeah, and this first draw is not ideal by any means. With the tri-spikes, of course, it is a risk to put up shield on your front tank when the opponent has 4 energy and is capable of going with a tri-spikes combo. So we'd have much rather to have more beast cards here rather than having the 3 anemone, which we're probably not going to get much use out of this game. But you have to make do with what you've got. So we'll see what we can do in the following round because we don't really ever play here. Okay, so gains in energy, it's going to be at 5. Have seen a Yam now, so pretty happy going forward with the attacks here, using the 2 lambs just to get value out of our tank. If his tri-spikes does come through onto our reptile, it's not really the end of the world, because then he does use his best damage for our aqua tank against our reptile, which means he'll have to divert a lot of energy in the mid to late game to try and kill us, which might actually work out more in our favor if he was to go backdoor here.
Yeah,
so
it really
see how
could.
This ends up.
Yeah, it really could.
Okay, so hopefully this will be enough damage to kill him. We haven't seen a pumpkin yet. Oh, straight pass.
Nice. So we're gonna take out his energy here as well. This will put him down to 3.
Yep, so he'll be back up at 5 for this round. So I'm sort of split here. I feel like he may go with a 4-card tri-spikes combo, but at the same time, he might be aware that I'm unlikely to defend my Aqua and then try and come through and kill it with 3, saving an energy for the mid game.
Can I just say, I do feel he likes to hit tri-spikes buttons. Now, thing is, like, he also might be thinking, I can, I need to get rid of this Aqua. These reptile cards will be good against it. So I think you just
Yeah,
play the Aqua cards, right? And he
that's
also has
sort of the thinking. Yeah. Oh,
here we
hello.
go. Let's
There's
see.
looks like a full combo.
Full combo. Now, he also has a reptile that might not get to kill. Yeah, this will not kill your beast.
Oh, they're
So
not.
no,
Ooh.
definitely not. This is one of the reasons why you want the bird part or disarm, because without it, you'll live. So that was the other thing I was going to point out. I wasn't sure if you 100% knew that or not, but he would have needed double scaly lunge, I think, to get the kill.
Yeah, so I've only played with the Aqua or the bird part, so I didn't know that interaction. So that's a handy one to know. So yeah, he spent 4 of his 5 energy, so he's going to be at 3 here. So I don't believe he'd be capable of killing this front tank, as he's just used 2 of his 0 costs. So what I'll probably do is I'll just chuck in a rice purely to clear this stun, and then go on to the next round and see what I draw.
Okay, so he's playing 1 parasite. Not really sure what that's supposed to do.
Interesting. Yeah, it was
really
a bit of a hit and a hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll probably just follow up with pretty much everything here. And with the shields, I will force the tri-spikes, if he does go with it, which would be a very questionable play, onto my beast.
Which is already pretty much dead. So it would be a wasted, really almost poorly placed amount of energy. And you're going before him, so you're still going to get the damage off with it.
Yes, exactly. That looks like a 3-card.
Looks like a. I wouldn't be surprised, my friend. Oh boy. Let's see if he shoots it over the. Let's see if he bumps it up over the Aqua here. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Okay.
For him.
He went for Aqua. He's gonna, with 4 cards, finally get rid of it. Oh, this is just unfortunate. Ouch. Okay.
That draw as well. Jesus.
Let's keep our wits about us. I think you don't want to get rid of. You don't want to play both.
He played 2 pincers just 2 turns ago.
You barely have enough though with Kestrel. Like, what if he played?
I think if he plays anything, I can't kill him with both. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, that crit was mainly unfortunate just because he would have had to spend more energy to kill that beast.
This is really nice that we are able to get rid of him there with no problem. And now we're gonna chomp through.
Do I go like this, or do I go chomp straight to the house?
It's an interesting question. I generally, with these bugs, try to just chomp with that. Yeah, I try to guarantee the chomp Kestrel damage, because it's just so much to put on. And it's a question of how much does he brick wall here, which is a bit of a gamble. Does he play fish snack? Does he not? Yeah, but
the last time against you, he did go with double pincer and a parasite off the first go. I'm not really sure. So I think I'll go with this just because I've got the opportunity to, but I'm sure you're probably right.
Okay. This is great.
All right, so I think
as good as we
similar amounts of damage anyway. Yeah, just managed to get the stun off.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Okay, so yeah, he did go with the double pencil combo.
He did. He threw in the fish snack. So I think we're in pretty good shape. Now, Parasite will be disabled. That's his horn card. Ooh, what a draw, Indes. What a draw.
Yeah. So now, just because I have this draw, I think I'll go with the combo again.
Question. How about Chomp, Gecko, Headshot? Because think about the chance of extra damage, and yeah, exactly.
They'll probably come out about similar again, won't they?
They might, and you'll get to hit with the Gecko. If he plays fish snack again, you'll be stunned. So
interesting. It seems you may be running low on cards,
so you get a little bit of extra damage here, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, definitely a little bit on top. Probably about 10 or 15 again, same as that first play. Oh,
let's fucking go, Indes. Come on, man. Let's go.
Couldn't get a bad draw there.
Definitely couldn't. Now, does he get savvy here? That would be unfortunate, although I think probably can't afford to at this point, by which I mean, does he just play a single sticky goo?
It's so difficult for him because as he has got me stuck on the three cards, it really is just a complete guessing game. And that's sort of the downfall of this fish snack snail shell bug, that without the extra damage in some of these 1v1s, you are just sort of playing the guessing game, because you know you can always keep them to the three cards, but then you don't know what three cards they're going to be able to draw.
100%. So boom, got him. Man, this feels good. I mean, this is our build, man. This is what people are now running this, you know, and that's cool. That's good. We're hoping you guys run this build we're working at as well here in the video. But do you hate when you lose to your own creation? So glad you could pull off the win there.
Always good.
So Indes, I think that was a great display of the team, what it can do. You will run into problems. You'll face, you know, high damage like double aqua teams, and post-fight birds are very difficult because they can just kill your aqua so quickly. But overall, I think as long as you learn how to play the build, ask questions in arena about maybe mistakes you're making, you can even post games you've played for guys to look over and get feedback. And I'd just say, as long as you do that, you should make a pretty good climb. I've been using this team myself for the past few days, and you know, I'm sitting in a top position right now. Hopefully we can stay there till the close out of the arena. While I have you on though, I wanted to ask, what would be another alternative, like, beginner team that you think would be great value right now? Because I know the market is hot, things are expensive. That's why we chose this team. We thought that for the value, for the price points, you could just really get a lot out of it. But what do you have another recommendation that you think might be as good or potentially even better for somebody to like walk into the game and start playing?
Surprisingly enough, double aqua setups right now are actually fairly cheap. Say you can pick up after sort of the Basota guys have been selling Aqua's fairly cheap. You've got the classic Cactus, Hotbird, Sirius, Pumpkin Tank is going for about 0.15 now. And then the Nemo Aquas, you can get sort of a variety of quality. Ideally, you're going to have a sponge or a teal, so you've got that option to brick wall and hold up in the mid game. And I've seen some of them go for as low as 0.17 over the past few days.
I need to get one of those. That's a good deal.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's also standard koi aquas, just full damage for about 0.15. And then on top of that, you've got a variety of zero costs. So I personally suggest a zero cost if you want to be pushing for those top ranks. In the lower ranks, it won't matter as much because you're not going to be running into as many stuns, especially reptiles with stuns. But as you move up and you face more backline reptiles with the zero cost chomp, you're definitely going to need a zero cost to be able to outplay those effectively. And they tend to range between 0.2 and 0.3, depending on the quality of the zero cost.
It might be time, Indes. It might be time for me to graduate into the double aqua, the classic AK Indes. So it's interesting though, you still think a variant of that is good for a beginner. You think that they can come in with the plant 2 aqua and sort of learn their way through the ranks?
Yeah, so I've actually a couple of my mates have started the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I gave them a much worse version of a double aqua, pretty much just what I had lying around than what you'd get on the marketplace right now for 0.45 or so. And they've peaked at around top 50 this past week. And then they're sitting around top 500, top 250 range at the moment. That's with a snail shell koi aqua at the back, and their front tank doesn't even have a pumpkin on it.
Well, so look, maybe next video, since I've never really run that double aqua team, right? Like it's not one that I have in my weaponry. Maybe you and I do a video on that build. I know it's probably the one you're most familiar with. You pushed very high in multiple seasons with it, you and AK. The other thing, guys, is that if you do the double aqua route, you can go on Axie Zone and watch Indes and AK play. Indes doesn't always run it these days, but AK typically runs it very frequently, and you can watch their games and see what they do, which is always cool. Yeah. What do you think of maybe shooting that video one day?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an interesting one just because there's so much complexity to it.
Yeah.
Double aqua at base, it just looks like, they're quick and they've got good damage.
Right.
But there's so much more to it, especially when it comes to outplays in sort of more difficult matchups like watering cans and things like that.
The way you guys play it is really, really high level. So, hey, look, we're in a new game, and Indes and I decided to just throw in some extra credit here. And this is basically the build that we did a video on last time. We're going to revisit it for maybe just one game or possibly 2. And we've got Yam up front. Tri-Spikes Reptile at mid, Thorny Bug in the back. This has been Indes's bread and butter lately. He's been smashing faces with it. And let's see how he goes about it this game.
All right, so right off the bat, not too happy with the front tank with the cattail, because they will be able to redraw cards if I do choose to go with the cards into it. So from this first hand, I am a bit wary of this high damage beast, but I think I'll hold on to the pumpkin. Okay, perfect. And so now I'm in this spot again where I don't really want to use both of these cards in case the opponent does choose to pass. And equally, I don't really have enough damage to go in with, because there is a chance that the opponent still defends their tank. And what I'm really looking to do here is have a turn where they leave their plant defenseless, then I can follow up with thornies or parasites, something along those lines, to be able to kill him for fewer cards, save more cards on my reptile, and then use them for brick wall in the mid game. So I think I'm just going to cycle off a single yam here and then save the pumpkin in case I survive on lower health, and I can go with like a pumpkin serious, something along those lines, and just hopefully get some good value here for this yam.
Nice. Now, when you say that, see, now this is good because you just played the one energy. You're still, oh gosh, the crit. That's, oof.
Okay, so he should have got 4 yam on him there, but got away with only 2, but it's not the end of the world.
No.
I should, again, this is the spot where pretty much banking on the opponent not properly defending their tank here, because they are scared of this Tri-Spikes coming through onto their beast, and their beast, of course, is going to be their main damage dealer to knock out my reptile here. So I'm going to recognize that and just trying to calculate enough damage to just about kill this tank. So these will do about 100 each. Thorny will do 188, and this will be enough to bring him to last stand. If he puts up a little bit of a shield, I want to follow up with a pincer to either knock out the last stand or just ensure the kill.
Indes, I'm scared that, okay, I was worried. I had some weird gut feeling that this might be a player that just throws up the brick wall, which would have just been so sad. But
it would have been.
But no, we get through the tank very nicely. That's the beautiful thing about a Tri-Spikes Reptile. It's not necessarily that you can play Tri-Spikes and jump over stuff. It's the threat of it. It makes them put their guard down on their plant up front. And that's just huge for getting to a very strong late game, especially when you've got the bug that you have, which is a really nice closer.
Yeah, exactly. And again here, the opponent's best shot is to brick wall this beast, even though he knows that I'm able to kill him with 3 energies worth of damage. So I'm going to follow up with extra damage here. I might actually go with an iguana as well, just to make sure I can get this kill, because I know once I've got that out of the way, I've got a safe 1v1.
Yep, exactly. Nice. So this will do it against the beast here.
Okay, so we'll be slowed, which is a bit unfortunate. And here I'm actually going to make what looks a bit of a weird play, and I'm going to play this Tri-Spikes and the incisor here purely as a trigger for my Thorny, because I know that once I get this Thorny trigger, because I'm expecting to survive this round, and then hopefully next round I'll just get a double Thorny off, weaken the opponent to where I can just control them out for the remainder of this 1v1, because now, with this gecko it is very difficult to get damage through.
Yeah, really quickly, what he means by get the trigger, just in case anyone's really new here, get the trigger from incisor. So this disarm card is going to slow our opponent, which counts as a debuff, and that way, you need your opponent to be debuff to get the Thorny trigger. So that's the allergic reaction card, and that's going to cause a massive damage bonus. And if we don't get a debuff on this opponent, then we're going to do significantly less damage with the Thorny. So now, as planned, we draw 2. We're going to, I think, do, if he doesn't play Gecko, it's like 188 damage with the damage bonus. And he does not play Gecko. Bam. Oh, so sick.
Now, discard as well.
I love this build. Indes has now made it into, in my opinion, an even better build with the Thorny. But I want to say that if there's, I think, only 5 of these bugs with double discard and Thorny in the game, but there's tons of fish snack discard bugs. And that's what I run it with. I don't have this version he has, but even without, you can make very top pushes with this team. There's a guy named Happy Size. I think we played him earlier. He's running the build that I run and doing really well with it. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in trying this one out. You do not need the ultra complete premium version that Indes has here. The fish snack is very, very closely second in that.
Yeah, and you could even go for a double discard Gravelant build as well. They're sort of on the rarer end and more expensive, but they may come up on the marketplace soon enough as we start breeding those, and that's another one to look out for. But the one thing I would say with that is it suffers a lot against birds. So if you're facing a lot of birds and you're sort of in that 1200 to 500 rank, probably wouldn't be a suggestion. It definitely would go for the fish snack version.
Fish snack. And the thing with fish snack, like it's so satisfying. You basically auto win versus birds because they never can get 4 attacks off. They're always going to do like 2 cards damage to you, and you have so much shield that the damage won't even get through. And with the poison and all the other elements of that build, it's really, really nice. And those, you can get those for pretty cheap these days relative to the market, and you just got to be on the lookout, search daily. All right, well, we're going to end the video there. That was some amazing content. I'm really glad to have you on the channel again. As we just mentioned, we're going to be following this up with the double Aqua beginner build, and it's not necessarily a beginner build, and same thing with this one. You play it at the very highest level as well. But I'm extremely excited to do that because Indes is just so strong with the double Aqua, as he is with a lot of teams. So, between double Aqua, which we're going to cover, this build today, the Anemone tank and the Beast and Reptile build, and lastly, the previous video we made, which is on the Tri-Spikes and Bug combination, which we actually even got to dip into today again a little bit. I think you are going to have plenty of options on starting up the game. It will be a bit of an investment, but if you're interested, intrigued, ready to get into the action, I highly encourage you to do so. It's the best game that I've played in, since I can really remember, and love seeing new players get involved. So any closing thoughts, Indes?
No, that's pretty much it. Thanks for inviting me on the channel. And as with last time, I will plug that every Sunday, Z and I do a show called the Axie Arena, where we pretty much we do a variety of topics, but it's mainly PvP focused. And this Sunday, actually, I'm not sure if it will be out by then, but we've got the second half to our card tier list. So if you're a new player or even an old player, it's definitely a good one to hop into, so you've got a better understanding of the game as a whole.
Amazing. So yeah, check that out. Follow Indes on Twitter as well. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again to Indes, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.